Imagine how much better your life would be if you were just a little less divided in your inner being, if there were less anxiety, if there were less inner turmoil and confusion. In this video, I'm going to show you an easy method to unify your inner being. The result? Tremendous personal empowerment and ease of being. Hi, my name is Richard Haight. I'm the best-selling author of The Unbound Soul and a master of swordsmanship and meditation trained in Japan. Through my years of spiritual exploration, I've received a great deal of knowledge and awareness. I'd like to share some of that information with you. The samurai developed tremendous methods of inner awareness, best described as meditations, but they're not like any meditation you've ever experienced. I'd like to offer you some of the powerful meditations and awarenesses that I learned in Japan. Click the link below for a free 7-day trial of the Warrior's Meditation. And now on to the content of this video. A great deal of our inner struggle comes from parroting what other people think, from not knowing and not accounting for the thoughts that we have inherited, the paradigms that we have inherited, the ideas that have infected us and that we repeat without thought. Most of what we experience in life, the choices that we think we have made, are based on thoughts, based on ideas and philosophies, based on concepts that we have received from others, accepted unquestioningly. And a great deal of what we speak of isn't really our voice. A great deal of what we talk about, we're just parroting. And oftentimes we don't really understand deeply what it is we're saying. What I mean by that is we haven't truly lived oftentimes what we might be saying. And this creates a tremendous inner division. So much assumption, so much bias, so much lack of clarity. As a result, of course, we know somewhere deep down, our nervous system knows that what we are saying, what we are believing, we don't truly understand. And that creates a kind of inner dissonance. Our inner compass starts to spin. We kind of get lost. We don't have clarity in our lives. We might fake our way through it by acting like we really know what we're talking about. But the reality is your nervous system knows you don't. And that creates an inner struggle. Some of us haven't even considered that maybe what we're saying has not really been tested and that we don't truly know it. The nervous system, however, does know that it hasn't been tested and that we don't really know it. And again, that results in inner division. So the method is very simple. Now, this method is ever more powerful the more you have already explored the inner space, the more aware you are of your inner space, which means if you spend a lot of time in prayer or meditation, this method is going to be all the more powerful. If you're not already using prayer or meditation on a daily basis, when I say prayer, I mean a prayer that creates a kind of clarity as a result of the prayer. I don't mean a beggar's prayer, but a prayer that is about harmony. And so if you're employing those methods or those things that create an inner harmony, you're going to have much more success at any type of inner exploration and uncovering the falsehoods that lurk within us. If you're not already doing those practices, I highly recommend that you do, for they will greatly enhance this method. That said, even if we don't practice prayer or meditation, just having this intention to listen and pay attention, as I'm going to show you, will over time strengthen your awareness of the disconnections within, of the falsehoods within, of the ideas that aren't truly ours. Now, the first thing to remember or be mindful of is that every word that we speak, we have inherited. At least 99.999% of your vocabulary you've inherited. Even if you've made up a word, in all likelihood, you've combined several words and to come up previous concept that you have received have come together to birth a new word. So nothing is truly original. And the more you start to research the ideas and positions we hold, the more we will start to discover that very few of them are original, that the very few of them are truly your ideas. Now, that's not to say that we can't receive other people's ideas and make them ours, but in order for them to become ours, they have to be lived and deeply explored, such that the nervous system itself accepts them as, with authority, it accepts them as ours. Otherwise, even if what we're saying is true, it's shallow, it's hollow, it's false. It hasn't been explored. It's not embodied, would be a good way of saying it. It's not embodied. You're speaking just from the tip of your tongue. It's just wasted, shallow talk. To have authority in our life, we need to have that inner authority where our words are coming from the very core of our being, where they're unified, where they've been lived and expressed, where they've been explored, so that the words that we speak have authority and that they're spoken with awareness. They're not just robotically spoken. We're not just regurgitating some idea. We're not just stating an empty belief or something that we just sounded good to us. And when our word starts to progress in this clear way, when it starts to tap into our inner being, there's going to be a kind of confidence, that's a kind of clarity, that not only will we trust our word more, but others will trust us more. And that's very, very important. Now, the most important thing is that we trust our own mind and our own thoughts more. The reality is a lot of our confusion is because we are in the inner space divided and confused. We can't make good choices because we're using knowledge and information that we haven't earned. We have no awareness of our own inner space. And so therefore, how can you make a true choice in your life? The choices you've made are based on a foundation of sand. And so when someone asks, how did you come about this choice or that choice? Or, how do we know if our choices are right or wrong? If you've not done this inner exploration, the way to know if it's impossible to know if your choices are actually yours or if they're right or wrong, because there's no awareness behind it. It's almost robotic. It's just momentum of life moving forward, momentum of unconsciousness moving forward. So what I'm going to show you here is very, very simple. The reality is somewhere inside we already know when we're speaking things that are just, we don't own, that we don't have any real experience with it. We're basically just being parrots. We know that inside in our nervous system. And so the first thing is to start noticing whenever you're talking with the intention of just filling space, like you're just uncomfortable and you're feeling space, that's meaningless talk. When you're saying something to try and impress somebody, that's false talk. When you're saying something to try and show your knowledge or show your authority to get attention, all of that is hollow. All of that will cause inner division. When we speak authentically, however, it's a very different energy. There is a unification in our body. The body itself harmonizes. We will feel a kind of inner strength or clarity, or maybe kind of buoyed. We'll feel very engaged. When we're speaking words that are false, that are the motivation behind them is false, there's no ownership in the words, it's just egoic talk, there's an inner disintegration and inner disturbance that occurs. And that's highly weakening. And it creates a presence around you that's very, very weak, or hard, inflexible, inaware, very egoic. Anybody's highly aware will be very sensitive to that and notice it and pick it up. People that you want to be around are the people that are highly aware, the people that are insightful. If you want those people to be around you, you're going to have to speak from a place of authenticity and stop filling the air with shallowness. And so the first thing to start to notice is just to pay attention when you're talking. Just take as much interest in what you're saying as another person might take in it, or what you might take in what another person is saying. Take interest in what you're saying, but take interest in the vibration of the words. I mean, not just the thought, but actually, how does the word feel coming out of your mouth? How does your body feel when saying whatever it is you're saying? That's the interest we want to take, because that's the doorway into the subconscious. That's the doorway into the unseen realms. That's the doorway that will ultimately, when we dive into it and explore it, will lead to an inner unification. And once we have that inner unification, another doorway opens up, a kind of receptivity to information that we didn't have access to before. But more important than that, we start to be truly comfortable in our skin. And that's a beautiful thing. It's something that you really don't understand the beauty of until you actually experience it. And then when you experience it, you realize, oh God, I've carried all that weight around my whole life. I should have just been honest from day one. The answer is to be more truthful, from an embodied state, from an embodied place. The answer is not learning how to manipulate people. The answer is not seeming more intelligent. The answer is not appearing to be more compassionate than you are. The answer is not to appear to be sympathetic. The answer is not to try to be liked. The answer is none of that. The answer is being able to speak authentically, confidently, without worrying about what other people think of you. And even more importantly, not worrying about what you think of you. Opinions in general don't matter. All that matters is that inner unification, the right words, maintaining that inner harmony. And that inner harmony will then start to change the world around you. People around you will either, if they like that harmony, they'll come closer. It'll start to change their lives. If they are not able to handle that honesty and harmony, they'll move away. And you've just saved yourself so much time and effort dealing with people that you don't want in your life. Now, of course, you stay open to them as you find that inner comfort, and someone wants to return to your life. You always have that option. You don't have to kick them out. They'll just move away on their own and maybe gravitate back to you when they're ready to for that kind of authenticity. But the key here is just to take in, to be actually interested in the truth, to be actually interested in just no longer lying, to be interested in how the body feels when we're not speaking honestly versus how the body feels when we're speaking very, very clearly from our actual experience, from the words that we actually own, not the words that we've borrowed from others or stolen. With that, I'd like to remind you, click the link below. We have a free 7-day trial of the Warrior's Meditation. This meditation will start to change you at an unconscious level and at a nervous system level. It will correct your inner space, unify your inner space. It'll make this process of getting your words right so much easier. In fact, it will make the process of getting everything right so much easier, because your body itself will be unified. Your mind and body will start to unify actively through your daily life, because this is a meditation that can be used at any time. Hope to see you there.